My father saw a modern luxury sport utility vehicle and said, "Son, this is not rich people luxury. This is a refrigerator with leather seats." And honestly, I had no answer. Because when he was young, a Mercedes meant something different. It had weight, chrome, wood, leather, a proper grille, and that little star on the bonnet standing there like it owned the street. So I asked him, then which old Mercedes still makes a man look rich today? He smiled and said, "My crazy son, those cars were not bought to impress people. They were bought because people already knew you had arrived." And that is exactly why this video exists. Today we are looking at 10 cheap old Mercedes cars that still give millionaire energy. But some of them can also bring millionaire repair bills. First car, the Mercedes-Benz E-Class W210. Now, this is not the Mercedes everyone worships like the older W124, and that is exactly why it becomes interesting. From a distance, those 4 oval headlights still give it a late 90s executive face. Open the door and you get wood trim, leather, a serious dashboard, and that Mercedes smell, like someone important forgot his briefcase inside. In 1996, the E320 sedan cost around $43,500 in the United States. Under the bonnet, the early car used a 3.2-litre inline 6-cylinder engine with 217 horsepower and about 315 newton-meters of torque. Today, examples can appear around $3,000 to $8,000, which is mad. And this is where my father would lean in and say, "My crazy son, when this car was new, it was not a bargain. It was a manager's car, a doctor's car. The kind of Mercedes parked outside a bank with someone waiting beside it." He is right. The W210 makes you look like a millionaire because it still carries the shape of formal success, but the market forgot it. But be careful. Cheap does not mean innocent today. Rust, tired electronics, neglected suspension, and old cooling parts can turn this polite executive sedan into a very expensive lesson, with oval headlights and beautiful wooden trim. Number 2 is the Mercedes-Benz 190e, W201. And this is where the joke stops for a second. Because the baby Benz was not Mercedes trying to be cute. It was Mercedes trying to prove that even its smallest car could still sit upright, feel expensive, and behave like it came from the same family as the S-Class. Look at it. Short body, serious grille, tight panels, clean glass, no decoration begging for applause. The clever part was underneath. Mercedes gave it a 5-link rear axle, so the little sedan felt calm and planted instead of cheap and nervous. In 1989, the 190e 2.6 carried a sticker price of $31,590. Today, normal examples often live around $7,000 to $12,000 quite easily. My father told me this car had a very particular magic when it was new. It was not the boss Mercedes, no, but that was the attraction. He said young professionals looked at it and thought, finally, a Mercedes that did not require a private driver, a family office, or a grey moustache. It gave them the star, the discipline, the heavy switchgear, and the feeling of success in a size that could actually live in the city. That is why it still makes you look rich today. A clean 190e does not scream money, it whispers taste. The 2.6-litre inline 6-cylinder engine made around 158 horsepower and 220 newton-meters of torque, enough to feel smooth, grown up, and far more serious than its size suggests on the road. Number 3 is the Mercedes-Benz 300e, the W124, and this is the car that explains why old Mercedes people get so serious. It does not walk into the room shouting. It just arrives clean, square, confident, and almost annoyingly correct. The body was drawn with that Bruno Sacco discipline: low nose, tidy glass, balanced rear, no silly decoration. But the clever bit is that the shape was not only handsome, it was slippery, stable, and carefully engineered for speed without drama. In 1987, a 300e cost about $39,500 United States dollars, serious executive money at the time. For that, you got a 3.0-litre inline six-cylinder engine with 177 horsepower and 255 Newton-meters of torque. Smooth, expensive, and quietly quick. This is why the W124 became famous. It felt like Mercedes had built one car for the next 20 years, then dared the world to wear it out. The cabin is not flashy, but it has that boardroom calm: upright seats, clear instruments, Zebrano wood, heavy switches, and doors that close with the confidence of a bank vault. On the road, the 5-link rear suspension gave it a calm, planted feeling that cheaper sedans simply did not have. In its prime, this was the doctor's car, the engineer's car, the careful rich man's car. Today, a good normal 300e often sits around $7,000 to $10,000 United States dollars, while rare versions cost far more. That is the magic. It looks sensible, but a clean one still makes you look like you understand money. Number 4 is the Mercedes-Benz 300CE Coupe, the C124. And this is the point where the sensible W124 suddenly puts on a tailored evening jacket. The sedan was respected, the coupe was desired. Same family discipline, but now with long doors, pillarless side glass, a lower roofline, and that clean rear quarter that makes the car look expensive even when it is parked outside a normal house. In 1990, the 300CE cost around $55,700 United States dollars, which was serious S-Class neighborhood money for a two-door car. Under the bonnet, the 3.0-litre inline six-cylinder engine delivered about 217 horsepower and 265 Newton-meters of torque, smooth rather than violent, and always expensive in its behaviour too. On the road, this car was not trying to be a sports car with leather seats. It was a gentleman's grand tourer, and that is much cooler. The steering feels measured, the suspension settles into the road, and the cabin has that old Mercedes calm where every switch feels like it was approved by 3 engineers and 1 very serious accountant. The best feature is the way it moves with all 4 windows down. No central pillar, just one long open glasshouse, wood trim, proper seats, and the feeling that you are driving something more private than an ordinary E-Class. Today, normal 300CE coupes often trade around $10,000 to $18,000 United States dollars, with cleaner cars higher. That is why it works: coupe elegance, old money manners, and just enough rarity to make people look twice. Forget speed for a second, this one is pure arrival. The Mercedes-Benz 560 SL R107 is the car you park outside a marina, a golf club, or a quiet old money house, and somehow it looks like it belongs there. It was not trying to be a sharp little sports car. It was a luxury roadster with a removable hardtop, a folding soft top, a long bonnet, chrome trim, leather, wood, and that relaxed Mercedes posture that says, "I am not rushing for anyone." In 1989, it listed in the United States for $64,230. That was serious money. Today, good examples usually sit around $23,400, while tired drivers can be much lower and perfect cars climb far higher. What made this car awesome was not one gimmick. It was the way Mercedes made open-top driving feel safe, heavy, and expensive. Mercedes says the R107 had crash performance ahead of its time, and that matters because convertibles were always judged for weakness. This one answered with serious structure, a protected fuel tank location, ribbed tail lights designed to stay cleaner, and later options like an anti-lock braking system and driver airbag. Then came the 5.6-litre V8 engine, giving 227 horsepower and about 378 Newton-meters of torque. On the road, it does not beg you to attack corners. It leans back, gathers speed, and cruises like a rich man's weekend has no deadline. That is why people wanted it then, and still understand it now. Pull up in a clean Mercedes-Benz 560 SEL, and the mood changes before anyone knows the price. This is not flash, this is permission to enter through the front gate energy. The W126 S-Class has the long bonnet, upright grille, thin chrome, disciplined lines, and that serious rear door length that makes it look like someone important is either inside or about to be. In 1991, this car cost $75,100 United States dollars, which was proper rich man money. Under the bonnet, the United States version used a 5.6-litre V8 engine with 238 horsepower and around 389 Newton-meters of torque sent through a 4-speed automatic transmission. Today, ordinary examples can sit in the low thousands, but good ones usually feel more like $15,000 to $24,000. What made this car the king was not only the engine, it was the way everything worked together on the road. The 560 SEL did not attack speed. It gathered it, calmly like the road had already agreed. Mercedes gave the W126 serious safety and luxury thinking, anti-lock braking system availability, driver airbag history, front passenger seatbelt tensioner, strong crash structure, quiet cabin, power seats, real wood, leather, and that famous long-distance stability. In its prime, this was embassy transport, boardroom transport, hotel entrance transport, and that is why it still makes you look rich today. A clean one does not say, "I found a bargain." It says, "I know exactly what old money looks like, and I am not interested in your modern screen-filled nonsense." Some Mercedes sedans look like offices. The 560 SEC looked like the owner escaped the office and bought the whole building. This is the C126, the S-Class Coupe, and its best trick is proportion. Long doors, no central pillar, slim chrome, low roof, and that deep shoulder line make it look less like transport and more like a private appointment. In 1991, the 560 SEC cost $82,900 in the United States, so nobody bought it by accident. Its 5.6-litre V8 produced around 238 horsepower and strong low-speed torque, delivered through a 4-speed automatic transmission. Not sports car noise, not teenage drama, just rich, heavy pull, like the road owed it respect. The feature I love is the automatic seatbelt presenter, because the doors were so long and the belt sat far behind you. Mercedes built little mechanical arms that moved the belt forward when the door closed and the ignition came on. That is not necessary. That is exactly why it feels expensive. Add electric windows, climate control, leather, wood, a sunroof on the 560 SEC, anti-lock braking system and later traction control, and suddenly this coupe feels like a private club with number plates. On the road, it does not dance. It glides, leans slightly, then pushes forward with calm authority. Today, good examples often sit around $25,000 to $40,000, while special modified cars can go much higher. Its aura is simple, old money, 2 doors, no apology. Now this one feels like the 1990s discovered confidence. The Mercedes-Benz 500 SL R129 did not arrive like a soft little convertible. It arrived wide, low, clean, and unbelievably serious. Almost like an S-Class decided to take the roof off and move to Monaco. In 1990, the 500 SL cost $83,500 in the United States, which was huge money for a 2-seat roadster. Under the bonnet sat the 5.0-litre M119 V8 engine, making 322 horsepower and about 450 Newton-meters of torque. That gave it real pace, but the magic was how relaxed it felt. Roof down, hardtop on, city street, coastal road, hotel entrance, it looked expensive everywhere. The new ideas made this car feel like Mercedes was showing off politely. It had an automatic rollover bar that could rise in milliseconds if the car sensed danger, and Mercedes used integral seats to build safety directly into the seat structure. That is clever, because convertibles always have to prove they are not weak. The R129 answered with engineering theatre. The roof movement, the removable hardtop, the solid cabin, the smooth V8, the heavy controls, everything gives the feeling that this was not a toy, it was a luxury instrument. Today, decent V8 examples often live around $12,000 to $19,000, with the cleanest cars far higher. Its aura is rich weekend energy. Sunglasses, quiet money, and a driveway that probably has tall gates. There are coupes, and then there is the C140, which looks less like a car and more like a private decision made behind closed doors. This was not a sporty little 2-door. It was an S-Class, with 2 doors removed, a lower roof, thick glass, heavy leather, and the kind of silence that makes passengers lower their voice without knowing why. In 1996, the S500 Coupe carried an original United States price of $91,900, while the earlier 600 SEC reached $132,000. Today, good S500 Coupe examples often sit around $12,000 to $20,000, which is almost disrespectful for something that once felt this expensive. Its aura is private casino, evening suit, underground garage, no explanation needed. The headline feature here is not only luxury, it is control. The S600 Coupe became the first production Mercedes-Benz to receive the electronic stability program, a system that could brake individual wheels to help keep the car stable when the driver, the road, or the weather got ambitious. That is a huge moment. And now we reach the final boss. The W140 S-Class is the Mercedes that feels like the engineers were given a blank check, a quiet room, and absolutely no adult supervision from accounting. Close the door and the outside world does not become quieter, it feels removed. This is why it still makes you look like a millionaire. It has scale, weight, presence, double-glazed soundproof windows, soft closing doors, a huge cabin, serious wood, deep leather, and that formal front end that looks less like transport and more like authority. In 1992, the 500 SEL cost $93,500 United States dollars, while the 600 SEL tested by Car and Driver cost $143,333. Today, many W140 sedans average around $18,000. The new features are what made this car legendary. Mercedes pioneered double-glazed soundproof windows in the 140 series, creating that famous cathedral silence. Early cars had rear parking guide rods that rose from the back corners when reversing, Because the car was so huge, Mercedes basically gave you little mechanical periscopes. Later came the sonar-based Parktronic parking system, the autopilot system navigation, linguatronic voice control, brake assist, and comfort details like soft closing doors and trunk. The big engine versions added the full millionaire fantasy, the 5.0-litre 8-cylinder engine, or the 6.0-litre 12-cylinder engine if you wanted absolute excess. The road feel is not sporty. It is sovereign. A cheap one looks like power, but remember the joke. It still maintains itself like old power too.